What is up, you guys? It's Julz. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. But if you're an OG, you guys will recognize this corner we're in today. It's been a hot minute and I'm excited to be back. Anyways, so I recently was on a podcast with The Running Effect. If you haven't heard it, first of all, go check the link in the description. Go listen to the podcast. It is super fun. It was super fun and I love The Running Effect. Dominic is doing so many cool things over there. I've talked about it before and I'm just gonna say it again because he's cool and it's awesome and you guys should listen. But basically in that podcast we kind of did a more deep dive into, you know, my whole story, some advice on, you know, college running, high school, all of that good stuff. And there were a lot of questions on kind of my start in running. I kind of had this moment when we were recording the episode that I was like, I've never really talked about this online before. Not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I've just never, you know, thought to be like, this is how I started this sport. So today we are going to be doing that. I just finished my freshman year at the University of Kentucky where I run on the women's cross country and track team, and it is so cool and so fun, and running is so cool and so fun, and you should try it. Anyways, that's my tangent. Okay, so I guess the best way to go into my start in running would be to go back to the beginning, and that takes me all the way back to when I was just a little 7-year-old. Yeah, I was 7. Actually, wait, there's a picture up in my wall. I'm literally sitting in my old room right now and there's like, I don't know, pictures. My mom has turned this into the guest room, and so now there's pictures of me as a baby up here, and there's a picture of me when I was, I don't know how old I was, but I'm gonna show it anyways because it's cute. Okay, I think I was actually 5 in this picture, but just imagine this, but like 2 years older, and that was me when I started running. So this is the girl that we're talking about currently, but 2 years older. Basically, I started running just with my parents and my brother around our neighborhood growing up because my parents were kind of just staying in shape and training for some local 5Ks, and that was it. They would just take me and my brother out around the neighborhood. We did some of the local 5Ks, but and I remember one specific one I ran with my uncle. Basically, there was a local track club coach. I don't know how to, you know, articulate words. Came out to my parents afterwards and they were like, hey, like, you should get your daughter to come out to our local track club. But at the time I was playing soccer, and my dad coached soccer, my brother played soccer, we all played soccer growing up, so they were kind of just like, no, maybe next year we'll think about it. And I didn't go to the track club that summer, but the next summer my parents were like, okay, yeah, maybe we'll give this a try. And I went, and the rest is history. I went to that summer track club, and that was through USATF and like Junior Olympics. If you guys did any of that stuff growing up, also say hi in the comments, because for me personally, that was like my favorite part of growing up. It was so much fun. I loved it so much. I met my best friends there, and I basically did that from, you know, when I was 8 years old until middle school, until I could start running for like my school team instead of just a club. Me and my best friends, we would go run, and we would have these like little home meets at our track, and then afterwards when we were done we would go play in the woods or go like play in the swing set and just like mess around. And the big rage was when Pokemon Go came out. I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade. I don't really remember. I think it might have been 6th grade. And that was so fun when that came out because we were in Yellow Springs, and if you guys are dating locals, you know how cool like Yellow Springs is. It's so much fun. And that was near where our track was, and so we would go run around Yellow Springs, and there was always like the Pokemon Go gyms, and we would get all the Pokemon. Anyways, that is a tangent for another day. I'm gonna get back on track. That pretty much leads us all the way up to middle school, because I did that all through middle school, and that's just really where I fell in love with running. A lot of people have asked me, like, when did you decide you wanted to run in college? That's definitely a big question. Is a lot of people, you know, go through, do I want to compete collegiately or whatever? But I think because I started running competitively at such a young age, and you know, I was so competitive growing up, and I still am to this day, that basically once I like learned about college and like thought about it in a realistic way, I never really like separated that from running. I kind of had the two at the same time because I had been running, and then, you know, you get to middle school and people are starting to talk about college already, which is super weird, but that's when you kind of first like hear about it and you're like, oh, this is what I'm gonna want to do. I was already like competing, you know, competitively. I don't really know how else to like describe that, and so I don't think I ever really separated the two, and it's kind of always something in my brain. I knew that I wanted to compete collegiately. I always knew that that was something I wanted to experience for sure. So middle school was the first time I was able to compete like on a real team, like the track team in like the summers. It was a team, but you were basically running like as an individual, but you would just like travel with, you know, people from your club and run with people at your club. So this is the first time I was really on a team and the first time I really ran cross country. So that was really fun. That basically leads us now into high school. If you've been following the channel for a while, obviously you guys know I went to Beaver Creek High School. I ran there all 4 years, and that was some of the best times of my life. And I think that's just when I like further started to love running more, and I really like kind of made it my own, because obviously as a kid it's, you know, kind of what your parents sign you up to do, and the details kind of fall in between. But in high school it was really more like my own thing totally, and you know, that's where all my friends were. It's kind of like I traveled in high school because of running, and that's some like my best memories are from high school for sure. It was my junior year of high school when the pandemic hit, and also very conveniently when I started looking at colleges, you know, started talking to coaches, being recruited. So that was definitely a really weird experience. Here we are now. I now run for the University of Kentucky, and I couldn't be more happy. I don't really know what to say about it. It's just been super fun. Yeah. That's kind of where we are now. I hope this gave you guys a little bit more clarity on how I got started and how I got to where I am today. Of course, if you have any more questions about that or anything that I was talking about, I know I tend to go on a bunch of little tangents, but I hope that gave you guys a little bit of a clearer picture. Like I said, if you have any more questions though, leave them in the comments or feel free to DM me on Instagram. My DMs are always open, and I love talking to you guys and chatting with you guys. We talked a lot about my freshman year at Kentucky, and more specifically about high school on the podcast with the running effect. So I think that really is a good picture of kind of how more I got to like where I am today. So if you guys want to go listen to that, once again, it's in the description. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe down below. And with that, I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!